man.
All right, we are live. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for a very special live stream with the cast and crew of Byrd. I'm Joe from GuyAtTheMovies.com, and I'll be your host to chat and walk us through this chat this evening. Welcome, everyone, to the chat here that's on screen. And Tony, your voice will bless us as we move through this as well.
Okay.
Over the course of our time this evening, I'll be asking some predetermined questions to really get to know the ins and outs of the film. And for those of you watching, please feel free to comment with any questions in our comment box. They'll pop up here, and I will bring them forward if we have time to get to them. We have a tremendous group of the cast here tonight, as well as our fearless director. So why don't we start by going around and just having everyone introduce yourselves and your role in the film. And Jean, we'll start with you because you're the closest to me on screen.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me and all of us. I played the role of burlesque dancer Blossom.
Very nice. Bettina, coming to you.
I'm Bettina Devon, and I played the role of Aunt Evelyn.
Very nice.
Are you playing her now?
I'm playing.
The glasses. It's the glasses. You know?
Bob, we're going to come down to you.
Sorry, I was muted. Hey, everybody. My name's Bob Turton, and I played Charles Byrd, or Chucky, if you want to go down that road.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Coming over to you, Randy.
Hi, I'm Randy Nazarian. I play Jay Butler. I'm the caregiver for Harry, and my best friend. He never liked me too much, but I loved him a lot, and that was his son, Charlie. Chucky.
And our Gemini.
Hi, I'm Toksama Bizarri, and I'm playing the character of Gemini.
Namaste.
Like burlesque dance. Namaste.
And Taruko.
Yes, my name is Teruko Nakajima, and I played burlesque dancer Iris and ice cream Iris.
Very nice.
Yes.
And last but certainly not least, Tony.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry my camera's not working, but maybe that's a blessing in disguise. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you guys for all showing up, and this is going to be fun.
Yay!
Very nice. So before we get started, for everyone that is tuning in, we do want to play our teaser trailer and get everyone primed for the conversation we're going to have. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll see you on the other side of it.
Thank you.
Harry, look, we're going to be cooped up in this van for a couple of days. Now it can be boring, or it can be fun. I personally choose fun. What do you say?
You ever hear of Pussy Gatto and the Kidnaps? We're going to the Twin Pines Casino. We are the closing act.
Life is too damn short not to do what you really want. Just live.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
So this is an absolute beautiful film, and one of the things I want to start with is where you all filmed and the experience of filming in some really beautiful, dynamic places. What was it like shooting all over Northern California and working on set together in such locations?
Well, can I go?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I actually live in Marin County, and I mean, of course, and I grew up in San Francisco, so of course I had been to Stinson a million times, Stinson Beach, for people who don't live in Northern California. But I had never, in all my days, I don't know why, I had never taken that turn off. What's the name of the place where we shot that gorgeous
Muir Beach Overlook.
Muir Beach Overlook. Oh my God, I didn't know that existed. And it was so stunning and made me once again proud to be a native Californian. It was gorgeous, gorgeous place to shoot. That was beautiful. And I'd never been to Twin Pines Casino.
Yeah, the Overlook was, my wife grew up in Marin, and I had never been up there before, even though I'd been here since 85, I guess. It was breathtaking. And when we shot the scene, Harry and I shot that scene, when you walk out to that lookout, and my God, it's awesome. And you have the ocean in front of you. And Tony set up the shot so that, I appreciate him doing that for Ray, that the sun was blistering hot that day. But the sun was behind Ray. And Ray was giving me, valuable information and advice. And the sun was shining square in my face the whole time. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah, okay. I'll take this. Yeah, we better do this in one take because I'm burning. I got burned.
I did that on purpose, Randy. I wanted to get more out of you.
I have a wonderful experience, Joe. The driving, the opening you saw in the teaser, that was shot out at, was it Nicasio Valley, Tony?
Yeah, Nicasio in West Marin.
I was told in production that there would be a lead car in front of me. Well, there wasn't. And the speed limit posted out there is 45. When I got in the van, the camera operator told me, and I forgot his name already, I apologize.
Ryan Castaneda.
Yeah, you can't go over 25 miles an hour, and you have to keep it at 25. Now, Joe, the speed limit is 45. There were numerous cars that were backed up. They passed, no problem. Well, all of a sudden, now remember, we're shooting a scene in dialogue, and we're laughing and enjoying it. It's all in the scene. There's a soccer mom in a van behind me. She's getting closer and closer. I'm looking in the rearview mirror because I have to be cognizant of traffic. And Ray's to my right, Harry's to my right. We're carrying on the scene. She's getting closer. Now I can no longer see her license plate. That's how close she is. And I see her head bobbing up and down. Didn't dawn on me till like after the shot. She thought, nope, no way did she think any different. That we were laughing at her because I wasn't speeding up. She went like this to me and gave me the one finger salute. Then she kept that up there, gave me a double salute with both fingers. And I'm looking at Ray and just carrying on the scene. I'm thinking in my mind, how in the heck is she driving this car? I realized she's just doing it with her elbow, basically, her arms, really. And this lady, finally, they said cut. I pulled to the side as quickly as I could, and she laid on that horn and really gave me another salute. But it was because Tony, you had no clue what was going on behind me. This woman just lived it. I mean, you could see her mouth moving. Her fingers were up and down.
Well, Randy, she does join us tonight as a special guest here to talk about that time. So that's a great story because it just goes to show, she didn't care that a film was being made, whether or not she knew.
A film. There was no police, nothing. It was this guy's making fun of me.
Listen, Joe, there was no way she could tell because we're super low budget production. We're doing things really, in a minimalist way, put it nicely. So actually the two actors were in the car. The cameraman was in the car. I was crammed in there too. She didn't know that there was a movie going on.
Yeah.
These guys were like,
what was the sound guy's name? The big, tall sound guy. What was his? He was scrunched in the back.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah.
I don't know how he fit in there because that guy was at least 6-something.
And that kind of speaks to the miracle of making a low budget film because you are operating on really a minimalist basis. And wow, it's amazing that we got what we got, and I'm very pleased with it.
It certainly came together. It's a beautiful film, as I mentioned, and all of the scenery and the location shooting. And we're going to talk about Twin Pines Casino in a second, as Bettina brought up, because that's definitely one of my favorite parts of the film is all the scenes that occur in there. But how about for the rest of the cast here? Any other experiences or tidbits regarding shooting the film and all the beautiful locations that you did?
I've got one for you that was super, super fun for me personally is that I actually have like 5 friends from high school. I went to high school in Columbus, Ohio, so nowhere near where we were at in Marin, but they all live really close to the hotel we were staying at in Marin. So I personally did 3 trips up there because I live in Los Angeles, and 2 of them I was staying in Marin before we went up to the Twin Pines Casino. And while we were shooting on those nights, I was able to see these old high school friends of mine that I hadn't seen for like almost 20 years. And and that was super fun. It was like a total like icing on the cake of the whole experience to have like to shoot with all these fun people in these really fun and exciting locations. And then the added bonus of getting to see all these friends of mine that live up there. So that for me was like a really exciting part of the whole equation. I get to meet all these kids, like, you know, their kids that they've had and stuff. So that was fun. And the hotel we were staying at has a free happy hour every day. So I was like, just come here. And they don't check or anything. So that was fun.
Was that strategic? We lost Tony, but was that strategic?
I don't think so. I mean, it was just, you know, Embassy Suites, man.
No, they needed a happy hour. Wasn't there construction going on or something?
Yeah.
There was. I forgot about that. Yeah, they were working on the entire pool. Like Embassy Suites has like the pool area in there, and they were like renovating the entire thing. So there was construction going on. Luckily, it was during the days when we were shooting, so I don't know if it disturbed any of you, but I was not. I didn't really hear any of it. So, but
the things are wild, right?
It was a huge operation.
Oh yes.
Well, let's shift a little bit and talk about Twin Pines Casino, because when I learned that was still an operating live open casino while you all were filming, it was both surprising in the sense that, look, wow, just the logistics of that, but also it comes through when you rewatch some of those scenes and you see some of the backgrounds and the people that are involved. Hey, Judith, welcome.
Thank you.
Judith.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're just starting to talk about the Twin Pines Casino scenes. And I mentioned that since it was a live operating casino, it was really quite the interesting backdrop. And I can't imagine what it was like for you all. But we do have a scene that we're going to play real quick that's going to introduce sort of the casino itself. And then we'll jump into some questions.
Come on, you forgot the contraption. Playing you for 3 goddamn hours now. I'm tighter than a nun's asshole. On. Excuse me, mister. This afternoon I saw this machine pay out three jackpots.
So I guess my first question is, did anyone hit it big during filming?
It's amazing how those numbers just kept coming up every take. It was just amazing. How did they do that anyway? I don't remember how you did that, Tony.
It's called the visual effects. Actually, in post, we had to go back in and change what was showing up on the machines. Because when you say 3 cherries and there's not 3 cherries there, you know, that doesn't quite make sense. So we made it all work out in the end.
So where's my money?
The check's in the mail.
I'll admit I'm not a big gambler at all, and I had a good amount of downtime at the Twin Pines Casino, so I was like, hey, what a great opportunity to experiment with gambling. And so I was in my hotel room like trying some online blackjack and poker to see if I can figure this out. I'm gonna hack this whole thing. And I lost so much fake money so fast that I was like, there's no way. I'm not even gonna try. I can't do this.
Well, I remember the people at Twin Pines gave us a $25 card, and I actually did win for a minute. I mean, it didn't last too long, but I did win $40 or so. And then of course, I eventually lost it all, but that was really cool of them. And on that note, I would just like to say about Twin Pines, that was the one location that of course really stood out for me. Not only because of how beautiful the area was, but the people there treated us so nicely, and they were so accommodating, and they literally treated us like family, as though we had been locals in that town our entire lives. They treated us just like they knew us, like we were part of the family, and it was just really a wonderful, warm environment.
Yeah, let me interject on that. Middletown is where Twin Pine is, and it's about 20 miles north of Calistoga on the way to a place called Clear Lake. And while it's still only a little over an hour and a half from San Francisco, you might think you're out in Wyoming out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Small town America, and it was great. And they thought we were like, big time Hollywood. They were thrilled. They were very excited to work with us, and it was so much fun. It was really, it's not like being in LA where every film shoots everywhere and they're rather callous or indifferent. We got a very warm welcome, so that was very cool.
Yeah.
And the house, we shot the house near the end. I think it was the last day of shooting. In fact, the home where we shot the water scene. My goodness, that was beautiful.
Oh.
Just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Sure was. Yeah.
I have to add about how lovely the staff was there, because one day Andrea Rainey, I wonder if she's watching this today, because I hope she is. She was, I think she managed the whole staff there, if I'm not mistaken, or was at least she acted like she was the manager. She was so kind and so wonderful. One day, and her daughter owns this little coffee shop, right, kind of 5-10 minutes from the hotel. I get a knock on my door, and she comes in. She brought me a latte. She asked me in the morning, what kind of coffee do you? I said, I get latte. I mean, she brought me a free latte from her daughter's coffee shop, which I should remember the name. But that's the kind of people they were. They could not have been more lovely. Really
nice. That's so nice. It's nice to hear those types of stories, especially as Tony was saying, out away from LA a little bit. And not on a closed set, right? It's still live operating casino, and you all are trying to do your thing around them.
Yes, the path was very nice. The road going to the casino, it was just going through this really beautiful woody, like mountains, like little road. It was just like as if like you're going to enter into like a wonderland or something. So it was, that make it like very isolated from like a big city lifestyle and stuff. So it's very, very nice.
Beautiful.
I think I've met you through that road. It's so beautiful.
I love your hair. Your hair looks really nice.
I agree.
Very pretty.
Wow. I started it 1 year ago, like the beginning of 2020. Yeah, and I've lost 15 pounds, I guess. So I'm like, I look at my pictures, I'm like, how different I looked. Thank you.
I guess I didn't think you needed it. But
Beautiful then and beautiful now.
yes.
And you did the exact opposite of most of the people over the past year.
I was going to say,
congratulations to you.
You're literally the only person in the world who lost 15 pounds over the last year.
I know, right?
I know.
So I do want to pivot a little bit and talk about the filming a little bit more, in that the film was shot in a very short time frame. And starting with Tony, in leading a cast through that short, grueling shooting period, what's that like to try to pull everything together with such tight constraints? And how is it different than the typical energy or production process that you're used to?
Well, it's really about planning and preparation, and sticking to the script and having the director be very decisive. Obviously, we had a 17-day schedule over 3 weeks, and we just basically scheduled it out and watched the clock and kept on pace the whole time. And that's really the director, and it's also the actors. I must say, all the actors really knew what they were doing, had a plan. I did happen to talk to all of them in advance, and we sort of had a good clue about where we were going with the characters and the scenes. And Ray and Randy, were to the word perfect. There was not a lot of need to, let's do more takes because of the actors or because we want to improvise something. We just, we're very organized and disciplined. That's how you do it.
And how about for the cast, and with such a tight recording or shooting schedule, I should say? What is that like working under, Tony's leadership in a 3-week shooting schedule?
I don't know much different. It's always rushed on an indie film. To me, that's how it always is. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe someone else has. I mean, Even honestly, even on big old feature films with gargantuan budgets and stuff and 800 million trailers, it's always hurry up, wait, and then, oh my God, you know. So I don't know.
I have to say though, and she's right, I agree, Bettina. But with that being said, every set has its own personality, and Tony definitely was the backbone to this thing, and it did run like a well-oiled machine. It was smooth, it was calm for the most part. Of course, there's moments, they all have them, but I walked away from this. It was just such a wonderful experience for me personally. So I felt like it was great. He ran it very well.
You're cast for the next show.
The way I noticed, like, Tony, even though he does like the indies, but between other independent film directors that I work with, I've noticed that he's really professional, and what he's doing, I mean, in my opinion, he put more of the pressure of the production and stuff on himself or on his crew rather than the cast, and that's such a relief for the cast. And I've experienced that with his previous movie, and so even though like we had to go fast and like, but I was trusting him that he's gonna get it done perfectly, like, and so that's what I've noticed about Tony, that he's really professional. I'm so glad that like I got to second time like work with him.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is the third or fourth time I've worked with Tony, and the thing is, he knows exactly what he wants. I mean, I've been over the script with him for what, couple of 3 or 4 years, I guess, Tony. And
yeah, Randy was in on the script from the get-go.
And it's a very comforting thing to work with a director that you know very well. And I'm going to assume, Tony, it's the same thing with a director. I've been worked with an actor for a number of times. You know exactly what the person wants, exactly the person. I mean, he told me. I mean, he allowed me to do a few things. They weren't in the film, but I get it. But he allowed me to do it. There was a freedom there. And my biggest request was that I meet Ray before we shoot. Because I've seen his work, yes, but I really wanted to connect with him, because I found out near the start of the shoot, Ray came in on a Sunday night to Embassy Suites. We shoot the next day, Monday, and the first scene is going to be the video Will. He's already died, and I haven't said word boo to him on set, and I have to come up with emotion and things that was for 3 or 4 days in existence before seeing the video Will. So we met at the Embassy Suites for what, an hour and a half, Tony?
Yeah, something like that.
And we clicked. We clicked immediately. The chemistry was there. We were doing a scene. Now we had read a couple of people here in Marin, and a couple of people like Jerry Stiller. We were talking about him, but a couple of people we read in Marin, and by far, of course, Ray was top notch. And midway through the second or third scene we were reading, I was so thrilled. I literally put down my script and said, "Man, you are good." And this cemented a thing that I'm sure you all saw. Maybe he did it with you too. How was I?
I love that.
That started at that reading, because he put down his script and he said, "You think so? Well, that's great to know." He's playing, right? But it really connected both of us, because he kept going. After every scene we did, how was I? How was I? Finally, Joe, at maybe the 5th or 6th day, "Oh, will you shut up? I'm not going to play into ego. Okay? You're an old man. Let's get this over with." But the point was, when that scene came Monday, I had a reference now. And I remembered the room, the laughs we had in an hour and a half. So it really hit me there, so that I could play that scene, because we met just for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Thank you for that.
Well, I think the chemistry between you two honestly was palpable from the very beginning of the film. And I can't imagine that the film would have worked if that wasn't there. So I definitely commend you both for that.
Well, that's thank you so much. That's two actors that have great respect for each other, and just like he said, we're just playing the moment. He's literally playing the moment.
The one thing I do want to ask, and you kind of just provided a great transition over to it, is the characters in this film are so unique and dynamic, each of them in their own way. And especially even the cast that we have gathered with us here today, in such a short time and filming in a 3-week indie film, how do you find your character? How do you identify with, the role that you see on paper and what you're going to put forth on the screen?
Well, as Tony said, I was working with it on this film. You started writing it, or you completed it after your father died, or you started it after your father died, right?
No, it was. I wrote it the year my father died, and you were actually there giving me feedback on the script when we were just on the first 30 pages. I remember that.
Right. That's right. And I've known Tony for what, almost 30 years now?
Yeah. Right.
So I know his personality. He told me about his father and his relationship for years. We've been, knowing each other and talking, really as friends, and about his family. And so I got the impression right away that this is Tony, of course, and his father, bits and pieces of it. So I wasn't playing Tony, but I was playing aspects of Tony. And one of the things that I is very real about Tony, he's very genuine, he's very sincere, he's very empathetic. So I use that for Jay, the way he had to deal with Harry, who my boss said, he's a rascal, he's an angry guy, but he's a very important client. So I said, okay, I got to respect this guy. And that's what Tony is. He's very respectful. I knew the relationship. We never got into, so what did your dad do or you didn't do? We never got into that, but I could just tell from the conversation we had over the years that when that scene at the graveyard, the scene with the lawyer, his father, there was some angst there. There was some buried frustration, maybe anger. But the point was, it all came to fore when I went to the cemetery and Ray at the end tells me, your father was a son of a bitch to you. No one ever said that to me, to Jay. And when a man I respected who had his own children who didn't have a great relationship, when he said that to me, I'm getting emotional because I'm remembering the whole thing. I thought, yes, now I can let go. Now I can let go of the pain that my father caused me, right? And this is the acting part of it, but it helped to know this is coming from a real place, because I know Tony and I know the situation to an extent where I could use that and not play Tony, but play aspects of his emotions, his life. Mm-hmm. Right, Tony?
Absolutely. You nailed it.
For that?
You nailed it. Yeah. You were great. Thank you.
And again, I think that's stuff that is definitely palpable in the film, and you feel it as your characters start at the very beginning separated but grow closer together by the end, and even how the film ends, right, with what we find out at the end from the will and all of that. I think it definitely is a great journey to see. Tariko, how about you? We want to get you involved a little bit. What was in your role?
Because I really loved my role because she's not professional, but she's very naughty, and she might have a day job, but then she wants to get attention, and she wanted to look sexy and dancing in front of audience and the trailer and Pussycats and Pussy Gato and Kittenettes. I was totally doing my real life. So that was totally me. And I really appreciate those 4 ladies, 3 ladies, excluding me. They were very, very happy, cheerful, also such a good mentor to me. Super, super fun. Inside of the bus, you would never notice how funny and naughty stuff in there. And it was an awesome bus, and I really love the trailer.
It seems like a lot of fun, I do have to say.
I can't believe Mr. Tony wrote everything.
Yeah, I want to say we're going to have a sequel just about Pussy Gato and the Kittenettes. Because
I would be wilder next one. Yeah.
I just want to say something about how Tony was amazing in,
choosing the cast for this character. So before I do the audition for it, Tony had this character of like, for Gemini that is actually like Persian and like a new ager kind of thing. And when he talked about it with me, I was just like, I never wanted to put myself in any kind of a category. And when he was telling me, like, he said she's a new ager, I'm like, I'm not that picky about, I'm not like completely like new ager type that they are like very specific about things. And so the whole idea of Gemini wasn't completely settled for me. And when I did the audition, I actually thought that I have to go to a character of Gemini to specifically play it in such a way. But then he wanted me to actually play it in my own language and just like naturally. And that's how I got accepted for the movie. Now, again, when I was playing it out, I still didn't understand that how Gemini character is so close to my real personality in life. And I was kind of still was playing it out, trying to like, and so 1 year after 220 happened, and I used to have like a different character living in India, which that was what Tony had in his head. So somehow he kind of saw it in me. And I got connected to that character again after the COVID. And then I realized, oh my God, this is so amazing how he saw something in me that I wasn't even aware of it, especially like the whole idea of like these 4 ladies, super free, they're, in their late 30s or 40s, and they doing their own job, but then outside of their society's belief and things, they're doing whatever they like. They have this RV, which is very much like something that I eventually came to like, oh, what if one time in life, like we just start to kind of travel in an RV and like kind of like a Burning Man lifestyle thing. And it's so amazing that like as we went through the, normal life, I realized how Tony is specific in his writing and how much he sees in people. And it's so amazing. And one thing I like about it is his scripts are always like, he goes very lightly in life, like, with he understands the characters, but then with a very positive look to it. And at the end of it, like take it life not too seriously. And yeah, so I'm so thankful, Tony. Thank you so much for discovering me before I do realize myself.
You're welcome.
Much fun, but it's amazing, 4 diverse, like we were 4 I'm talking about the burlesque dancers, like specifically that were from 4 different backgrounds culturally and ethnically, and how like Tony like put us together. It was just amazing. It was just very unique, I thought.
Just to extend on that, yes, I agree with all of that. It's, it's human. This is what I love about this film is the human connection, and I feel like, people and situations come in and out of our lives. And as they do, there's a reflection of an aspect of ourselves being shown to one another through one another. And, and at the end of the day, it's how we choose to walk through the world. Do we reach a hand down to lift another up? And just that reflection, that human connection, we all go through trials and tribulations, but what is important at the end of the day? And these are the things that, he shed light on, and that light illuminated the darkest corners. Well, maybe not the darkest, but it illuminates the, dark corners of just being a human being in a way that brings us together, that connection. And so these are things that I love, aspects of the film that I just really love.
Except for Bob.
I do have to say that
Bob, man.
I want to hear about Bob's process.
You gotta have.
Wait, before you do that, I want to hear from Jeannie about how she saw the Blossom character, because you kind of played that a little bit like a Southern girl. Tell us about how you saw that character.
Well, yeah, I remember you were like, now I want to really hear her Southern. And in the audition, and so like we did super Southern. And I remember kind of glancing over, and Tony was just laughing his butt off, and he was like, and I heard this under his breath, that is just so cute. But then he was like, but I like your natural Southern accent. So we just kind of went with that. And actually I was glad that he said that, because again, the character for me, it was just tapping into certain periods in my own life, those moments when we all feel a little lost and not just sure what direction we're going in life, and remembering the people who changed our lives, who came in and out of our lives and changed our lives for the better. Red brought us all together. We were all very different walks of life. Yeah, so I just, for me, it was tapping into those moments that we've all been through in one way or another. So that's kind of was more the process for me, and just bringing Blossom to life, even though she doesn't say a whole lot, but she sure feels a lot.
The one thing I definitely do want to say is that after watching the film and even just interacting with you all for about 40 minutes now, you can see how honest and I guess infused with who you really are those characters were in the film. It's a great representation, I think, of the diverse cast that's even here with us tonight. So congratulations on that, because it really is heartwarming to see. I want to switch gears a little bit and get to Bob. And Bob, I kind of warned you I was going this route at one point, but we're talking about how much fun the burlesque dancers had, and Aunt Evelyn was having a blast winning in the casino. And Bob, your character was not having a lot of fun during this movie. What are you talking about? Villain, so to speak, in the movie. But what's it like playing that role where you're in a different mind space than the rest of the cast, really?
Well, I'm bummed to say it, but I think a lot of times I fall into those roles just because of the way my face looks. It's like I have this face that people just want to not like, which I'm really a nice guy. I'm a good person. But I have these big eyes, I don't know, people think I'm crazy. So I fall into these situations, but I really love playing roles like that, kind of characters that are honestly very different than who I am as a person, because I get to explore these aspects of psychology and just being a human, and it's really fun to me because it's a real departure from my kind of personal reality. And in this film in particular, it was really fun to explore that, because I feel like father-son relationships are very unique, and a lot of times they're sentimentalized in movies like Field of Dreams and things like that, but rarely not rarely, but it's more interesting to me to explore the difficult aspects of father-son relationships. And I feel like Jay had that with his father, and I think Harry kind of makes reference to his own fathering in the movie, since he did the best that he could, but he's sort of lost touch with his kids. And I think that I was thinking of Charles as sort of a younger version of Harry, who's kind of in the midst of that figuring it out stage of getting overwhelmed by life, a lot of pressure, a lot of growing up happening, and having to deal with a lot of stress factors, which we all have to deal with in life. And how he responds to it is the way he's responding to it. I like to think that eventually Charles will hit the Harry stride, where he'll be like, you know what, I didn't need to be so strung out about all that stuff. But in this film, it was really fun to kind of explore. It creates a real interesting contrast that I thought was very funny, comedically, to have the relationship of Randy and Harry. I'm sorry, with Jay and Harry, kind of this these guys who are of a certain age that are kind of like looking back on their lives, just reflecting on the way that they lived, and coming to some real existential realizations. And Charles is just in the thick of it and doesn't necessarily know exactly what's important yet. So that was fun. It was fun to play that. And I feel like it was also a fun character because he was really moving the plot along in a way, kind of creating this tension that was looming in the background. And that's always really a fun role to play, I think.
And I would argue that at the end, at the very end, you see Charles really, I guess, having that internal moment of reflection on, what his relationship with his father was, and potentially kind of getting to that more free-spirited moment, I guess, in life.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's starting to happen, and maybe in the sequel, Charles, the B story will be Charles in anger management. Something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, one of the most memorable scenes, I think, in my opinion, was the interaction with Aunt Evelyn in the casino and everything that happened there, and the juxtaposition between the two characters.
That was my favorite scene to play. I mean, if that was going to be one of your questions with Bob,
Yep.
I wanted to just keep doing it. I did. I remember that, and then it was kind of tricky because they had to. I forget. Oh, Harry had to sneak out of the bathroom while we were doing that thing, so it was the timing. I was just like, "Oh, can we just do another take? This is gonna work with this guy." You're so wonderful. I'm a fan, Bob. But
likewise.
Actually, when I read the script, I thought, "Oh, this is going to be fun to do." I mean, I could see it. You know,
it's like, how do these?
You can get a lot of takes.
It was funny just to see those two energies together. I mean, we made the film a little while ago, so I didn't remember everything as I was watching it and it was coming up, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is so funny. And I don't know what I said, something about East Hampton at one point that I just I don't remember that.
I know, that was great. Oh, speaking of improvising, Tony, I will not forget when you all, I don't know what, it must have been when I was playing the slots, when wasn't I? But you said, okay, just improvise something in Yiddish. Oh, thanks, Tony. Oh, thanks.
and you did. You did a great job with that.
You didn't, it's not in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, no, there is. There's a scene where you say some words in Yiddish. I promise you that.
Yeah. Oh, there is. I watched it today. I don't remember that for some reason. I gotta watch it again now.
Maybe just words like fakakta or.
Oh, right. Well, I did watch the film again today, and I had forgotten a lot of those wonderful moments. And there were several laugh out loud moments with Bob and Bettina and Randy and just all. I mean, it was just Randy. I just wanted to hold the whole time. So endearing, and oh man, you just brought that character to life in a way that I just love you.
Aww.
And that's a great transition as well, because Randy, we're about to focus on a scene that you referenced earlier, but just talking about Freebird as a film, the one thing that really struck me was how heartwarming and how much of a feel-good, ultimately positive film it was. And I really enjoyed that. It always felt very authentic, and I think that that's very important with a film like this. And that comes through in a scene with Jay and Harry near the end, and we're going to watch that clip and then talk about it.
No matter what the result, just live.
Okay. Thanks, Harry. Thanks a lot.
Ah.
See what I mean?
I did not see the sunburn though.
Yeah, but I was when I was saying thanks, Harry. Thanks a lot. Thank God this scene. I mean, it was just blaring. It was so hot, but no, I think soon after that he says it's a good day to die, and he's going to feign jumping, right? And I get jumped back into. And the thing was, anytime when he faked the heart attack in Train Town. Being Jay, was so into him and his wanting to take care of him. And I think what it was what I didn't have with my father, I was pursuing with him. That's how close the relationship was, because my father, as the picture depicted of him, he was a gruff, mean old guy, son of a bitch. And there was a softness about Harry that made our friendship even stronger, and it was very, very real. And Ray, I want to say about Ray, and also Chandrella, Ray was just great to work with. It was wonderful. Chandrella, we had two specific scenes that were just her and I in the van at 1 a.m, 1:30. It was late, but it was nighttime scene anyway, and we just, I think. Harry and Bettina were in the back sleeping, I think, in that particular scene. And we just enjoyed that scene so much. And then the scene in the bar where he tries to encourage me and lift me up. It was a pleasure working with her as well. And she brought a lot of life to the set. there was always something going on with Chandrella, you know, always something. And so that was added to the personalities on the set, the crew as well. The sound guys were just a pleasure. They really were. Every one of the crew people were just a pleasure. TJ and the makeup artist, the blonde, I forget her name.
Rocket.
Yes, Rocket. So encouraging. And TJ was there. In fact, he was even in the film. I had said, Tony, let him be the what was it, the motel clerk or something. And he was behind the desk, and he was in the film. We saw it. So wonderful job for those individuals. And Tony, you should be very proud. I know you are. I know you already have another film in the works, and I'm looking forward to it, as I'm sure Bob will.
Oh yeah, and you know, as long as we're talking about films, let's be sure to say that Freebird's available on Amazon, iTunes, and Google Play. So go get it. And Joe, I know you've noticed Judith Allred down there, and I would love for you to ask her a question about playing a deceased person. And how she treated that role.
Yes, Judith, I don't want you to think I forgot about you, but as we're nearing the crux of the film and the discussion of the meaning and memorable scenes, I do think that your role, as even though it's a very minor role, is very important to the entire structure of the film. So what is that like, playing that type of small but impactful role?
Well, I certainly enjoyed it because I believe that way. I believe in the spirit goes on, that we are spirits, you know, we are souls in a body. So it fit my philosophy perfectly. So, and I'm sort of the mystery person, you know, you don't know that I'm going to be in there and then I appear. It's sort of fun to be that way. So I enjoyed it. And I also enjoyed the fact, when watching it the other night, I just thought this film for me fits today's what people are thinking about today and have been for the last year. What am I going to do in the future? You know, maybe I need some advice. What should I do? Should I change my job? What is it? And that's going on, and we see it written now in so many pieces in the newspapers and so forth. And this film to me fits so perfectly for right now because of the wonderful advice that you know, Jay gets. I mean, you know, that was a great scene with, you know, go on with your life. Get instead of, you know, pulling back out of life, get into life. And that's what I think we need in the whole, you know, world, much less just in the film. And I love that. I'm a big fan of independent filmmakers. So I'm a big fan of Tony's. I think it's fabulous what he's done. And his story is so, as you said, Joe, it's so authentic. And that makes it. So I wish more people could look at this film that way and say, you know what, this is going to kind of push me forward with humor, but with some good advice. A lot of fun.
I think that's certainly true. Is, you know, even Judith, when you popped up in the film, it was unexpected, but impactful, and I think respectful of the entire story, and a nice sort of button on top of it as well. And really, as you're saying, is a reflection of, I think, a lot of society right now trying to think about lives in the world, and even for, you know, those who are faithful and thinking about what life means to them. It just really was a heartwarming moment.
Right. And I love working with Ray. I mean, he's such a gentleman and he's so easy to be around and work with. You know, I would have loved to have had more stuff with him, but we spent a lot of time together and, you know, sitting around. I like that.
Well, I do want to ask the entire group here. We talked about some memorable scenes, and we played one of them. I'm going to play another one in just a second that shows, I think, a little bit of the humor that's infused throughout this film in such a respectful way that complements the direction of the film, doesn't overshadow any of the messaging. So we'll play that in a second, and then but I want you to think about what's one of your most memorable scenes from the film, whether you're in it or it's just one that you very much enjoy.
So funny. What? Think I'm joking?
I kept my job and started doing acting on the side.
And I like that clip because it is just so it's short, it's straight, it's to the point, and we have this overture about where we're ending up with our characters, and we have the interaction with the riders that Jay is driving around. But what, Bettina, I want to go up to you. Any memorable scenes outside of the one you already mentioned with Bob, but something that you think is really reflective of the film as a whole that you hope that maybe the audience really gets to see and understand?
I guess I would agree. I mean, I think it's sort of been touched on already, but the reflection of the film as a whole is the message: it's never too late. And that's my credo. It has to be. I mean, and so when Harry, just is pushed to the point where he has to tell Jay, look, buddy, like I guess it was the sunburn scene. I guess that was it. But that to me is the crux of the movie, just as far as fun for me, what I was looking forward to, I could not wait to do that. That was the audition scene, Tony, you're tighter than a nun's asshole or something like that. I mean, the minute I read that, I went, okay, that's me. I need to play this character. She's really vulgar and direct. So, but I was excited because I'm like you, Bob. Like I don't gamble. So it was it was going to be fun to see what that whole thing was like, But definitely the message of the movie is, I'm with you, Judith. We gotta live. I mean, live.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gene.
Just taking off of that again, never too late. And also one of my favorite quotes, Eckhart Tolle, is realize deeply the present moment is all you will ever have. So kind of making it count. And I have to say, because of the phenomenal people involved with this, Tony being the backbone, I was very much present in the moment throughout this entire process. It was just such a joy to be a part of.
How about the rest of the cast? Any other memorable scenes? Tariko, go ahead.
Yes, I really loved when Mr. Randy and Miss Cinderella was talking and she's nurturing you. And she was such a nurturer throughout this movie, and she was teaching us a lot, and she was such a leader, and she said yes, no, and she was very, very helpful.
Took control.
No, I love it. One thing I wanted to tell you guys, which I shouldn't say, I love her to death and she's my mentor, but she is scared of bridges.
Of what?
Bridges.
Oh,
bridges. So I was surprised that she looks like she has nothing to scare, but she was so afraid of heights.
Oh, right.
Yes. Tarika, she really was. I agree with everything you said. She was very much a caretaker character and behind the scenes. She was very much, Mama Bear, took the babies under her wings. She definitely has that persona about her, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to say I love the writing of where Ray steals the car. I mean, my husband and I were watching it, and if you don't know the story, you're building up to that tension of this guy is so, he's always doing something to try to get out of things. It's funny. And then all of a sudden he takes off in the car. I love that.
So funny.
It's very entertaining.
I had early on in the film, I get to do this one-on-one scene with Ray, and it was great to work with every single person in this cast. It was such a fun group of people, but I was really excited to work with Ray because I obviously, know and love his work, but he has such great history in theater in New York back with, he worked with Sam Shepard and Joseph Chaikin and all these really interesting people. And like I'm a big theater guy here in LA. So the whole like real opportunity to kind of go head to head with him and just talk about some of those experiences between takes. I was just having a blast, just asking him about what it was like working with Shepard and what it was like working with Joseph Chaikin, and just what that whole scene was like back in, I guess it would be like late 60s, early 70s. And he had a lot of really awesome, exciting, interesting stories to tell, which was really, really cool and very inspiring. So doing that scene with him one-on-one early on, when I kind of tell him when he's got to go to the, retirement home, it was fun. It was one of those like actor moments where I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe anytime I get to work with somebody whose work I've known growing up, I'm just like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm not cool. Like, some people are cool about this stuff. I'm not cool about it at all.
Can I say one of my favorite moments was with Randy? I forget where we were, Randy, but I was
in the RV. We couldn't get out of the RV.
No. We were sitting outside of the RV in the shade, and I was and I was running lines with you, and I was so honored that he even asked me to run lines with him. And it was that was a special moment for me, because not only did we run lines, but I actually got to know Randy more on a personal level.
We had a nice talk. Yeah,
we had a really nice talk, and that was a really special moment for me. And as far as Raymond, well, that guy is just a humble guy all the way around.
Yeah.
Great guy, man. He's just a great guy.
No kidding.
I think that's just. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I took a lot, but I want to let you know, if you ever be able to watch this movie again, please watch the wardrobes.
Oh, Adriana,
Miss Adriana. Fantastic wardrobe.
Oh my goodness, she put up with a lot.
By herself, only by herself. Crazy wardrobe. I loved all the people and all the, even the catering people, everybody, April and everybody. But she did.
She put up with us
so hard.
I never thought about how important the wardrobes are.
Yeah, she really went above and beyond. Truly.
It certainly seems like the entire operation was just one big, I don't want to use the term family because I feel like that gets used, and thrown around so much, but it sounds like everyone was really there with the same intent, on the same message, and it really shows, I think, in the ultimate product. Tony, what I do want to kind of conclude with, as I'm just paying attention to the time here, what is it, we talked a little bit about how this film is very close to you. What is it that you hope the audience gets out of watching Freebird?
Well, first of all, I hope that they're entertained and have some laughs, because I think that's one of the main purposes of film and storytelling. But my personal philosophy is that if you can marry entertainment with enlightenment, the slogan for my company of Prankster Entertainment is to entertain and enlighten. And all the really great stories and great films that I love have some deeper purpose, some message, some truth that's it's a real truth. It's not an intellectually made up thing. And so Randy kind of hit it earlier when he said, this is based on Tony's experience with his own father over time. And my father died in 2012. That's when I first wrote this script. And what I was really trying to do was have characters who were incomplete with their fathers or their children, and have sort of a healing journey and experience and a reconciliation, which is really quite beautiful, I think. And that's what I want people to experience and hopefully to have in their own lives with their own parents.
That's great. I think that's a beautiful message, and one that everyone can connect to in one way or another. And that's one thing I think Freebird does, is offers a lot of different inlets to reflection and just understanding the here and now and sort of who you are and where you are in life. So Congrats to all of you, and thank you for taking the time to talk with me tonight. This film is available right now, and everyone can log off and go watch it. You can watch it on Amazon, iTunes, Google. Just search for Freebird or visit the Freebird Facebook page, and all the links will be there. But once again, I want to thank you all for spending the evening with me, and I look forward to future projects.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. It was so great to see you.
It was great to see you.
Everyone, see you.
Thank you.